I love talking to people about my current hyperfixation, and my current hyperfixation book is Qualify, Compete and Win, the Atlantic Rail series by Vera Nazarian. And I always love to share with others, and I'm getting so enthusiastic that I forget to break things down and talk about tropes, because I know this is what a lot of people are receptive to, and it's nothing bad to it. It's nothing bad to say, okay, it's as if you go to a restaurant and say, I want meat in my food, or I don't want meat in my food. So it's nothing bad to say, I want this trope or I want other trope in my story, and it's something that I enjoy. For example, I love the nerdy, clumsy girl trope. I know it was done again and again and again, but you get me. With a girl that's not sporty, that's not amazing. Like Katniss was okay. I loved Katniss. I read The Hunger Games so many times, it's not even funny. And I loved and adored her, and I know the movies by heart and everything and the books. But she was a little bit too strong, too sporty, too capable for my taste. Nothing bad in that. Also same like Alice in Resident Evil, or a Carol in The Walking Dead. I loved her evolution, but in this case, in Qualify, that I think you can still get for free on Amazon, you can download it, and it's like the 700 something page book that you can enjoy and read during the weekend and just burn for it the way I do. You get Gwen Lark, who is a A student, but she's a nerd and she's a klutz. Like, she manages to stumble over with walking on the street. She is not coordinated, she's not good at sport, she is skinny but she's not in shape. Like, she doesn't do fitness, she doesn't run, she doesn't jog, she doesn't do any sport, she doesn't do nothing. And you have this girl and you just have to love her because she's funny, and she's a little bit too much sometimes, and she manages to place her own foot into her mouth each time. But at the same time, you just love her because she is so fun to watch, and she's so real. She says things that a real person would say, and so you end up loving her character the same way you end up loving the fact that when her high school sweetheart, the guy that she had always a crush on, starts to actually look at her, she's like, what does he want from me? Like, I'm just a nerd, and he's also like this great student, but he's also an athlete and a singer, and he's very talented and very, very good looking, and she doesn't know what he wants from her. So I also like this trope when the girl gets the guy that she actually likes, and she sees in the end that it was not him that she wanted, but it was the projection that she made above this guy, that he was in a certain way, and she was sure that if she would be with him she would be happy. But it's not true. She needs to evolve on her own, and she needs to get through certain steps so that she becomes the person that she was meant to be, and she gets like this peace inside her, and this yes, this balance that we all maybe crave at some point. So we have Gwen, who now has the chance to escape from the planet Earth, but only if she either qualifies or dies, because nobody wants to leave the qualifications and the chance to get on the planet Atlantis, that is actually colonized by the former people that lived on the Atlantis continent on Earth, and that are heavily influenced by the Egyptian culture, because they were actually the ones that started this entire culture with pyramids and with the wonders of the world and all of that. And the young people between 12 and 19 have the chance to get to Atlantis, so they are so hyped and they want to go there. And yes, I read a few of the reviews of the book after finishing reading the first two books, and now I'm about to finish reading the third. And there's one thing that's like, doesn't make sense, because she at some point has this great strong voice and still she's not automatically qualified. But if you get to know the character of the Imperial Prince Aeson Cass, the guy that she's crushing madly on, but they have this huge discrepancy in social rank, and she's not going to, she cannot even fathom the idea of being together with him, because he's this perfect, strong, beautiful leader of the fleet, and she's just a weird, nerdy earth girl that speaks too much and doesn't always think before saying things. And I think he was aware of his father, the Imperator, and of the fact that if he is going to bring this girl to Atlantis, his father is going to put his claws into her. So honest to God, I believe that there was a chance for him to just help her skip all the steps of qualification, but maybe he even considered that if she doesn't make the qualifications, or if she just thinks that it would be best to stay on Earth, that he's going to be free of temptation, because this girl was a real temptation for him. But this is another thing that I like about those type of dystopian young adult type fantasies. You always have this woman, this young girl, this young woman, usually she's usually 16, 17, 18, that has way more power that she is aware of, and that she doesn't know what to do with her power. This is why I'm finally starting to read a very hyped series. You know what it is. And I love Sarah J. Maas books, don't get me wrong, but it's the same like in Fourt Wing, where we have Violet, who has all this power inside her, and she's very smart, but in the moment when she realizes that she is so strong, she panics, because to that moment her only strength was her mental ability, her intellect. This was the only thing that set her apart from the rest of the people, the only thing that made her feel good about herself, that gave her confidence, that gave her that push of trust, that made her feel special. And now all of a sudden she's aware, okay, I have all this power at the tip of my fingers, and I don't know what to do with it, even though I'm smart, because I was always used to rely just on the fact that I am very, very, very smart. So this is an interesting trope that I love, like the sweet, funny, nerdy girl, or the girl that's not really sporty, or the girl that's too skinny, or maybe too chubby, or whatever, but it's not sporty, and who ends up in a situation where she actually has to make peace with her body and be like, okay, maybe I'm not sporty, but this comes the moment when I have to run, when I have to climb, because otherwise I'm dying and I don't want to die. It's same like in Divergent, where you have Tris. Tris in the movie was a large girl, but in the story she was same as Violet. She was short, she was skinny, she was not very coordinated, she didn't play any type of sport, she was not even especially smart. She was a regular nerdy skinny girl that was just normal. She wasn't even nerdy, sorry for using the word nerdy, but there's something about this trope that I love and that I enjoy reading. And this is another thing that I'm thinking about. We have a tendency to read the tropes that we enjoy again and again, and we don't really mind, like the Hunger Game trope, this trope of a game, of something that comes in layers and layers and layers. And even if it's a little bit repetitive, we are like, yeah, but I want to read it again, because if you think about it, in Fourt Wing, there's also a little bit of a Hunger Game trope going on, if you consider it deeply, because you have the candidates first at the first part having to walk over the parapet and get into the college. Then you have all these other steps that they have to go through and that are mortal, that they have to manage, that they have to get a grasp on in order to even get to the point when the dragons are going to select them. And then later, even after they have the dragons, they still have to fight for their place. There is still a mortal danger. There are still so many things that can happen to them. So I love this trope of things that can happen that are like a little bit like game, like a little bit like Ninja Warrior. I always keep saying, and don't hate me because I love Fourt Wings, that Fourt Wing is a little bit like Divergent with dragons and Ninja Warriors, even especially that parkour that they have to run. Like, I saw Ninja Warrior and I was like, yeah, but it's a little bit more medieval and with dragons. And I still love it. I don't mind that I know that Violet, that Gwen, that Selena, that Fere, that whoever is going to survive, because I'm going to hold on to the damn book and I'm going to read each and every page of it and I'm going to adore it to the end, and I will not be able to breathe and I will not be able to sleep until I have not finished. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, you know the drill, because I could use a few more followers, and let me know what you want to talk about next time, because today I was all over the place, but the idea was the trope of the nerdy girl in young adult and romantasy action stories. So have a great evening. Ciao ciao.